So this is A2K episode 15. This is technically the part 1 finale. Now for some reason, A2K just uses a normal episode numbering system. So it's been number 1 to 16. Whereas the Easy Project, they'll do part 1, episode 1. Part 1, episode 6. So it's really confusing. But anyways, there's going to be another continuing season with no gap apparently. Which has to do with all the Korean sections after this. But let's just get into the last sections of the final performance. And so this is Team B. We're in Team B practice where. Okay. Team B, they have a team name which is Neko, short for Neko Nika, meaning because it's mine. Now, when I heard this, I thought she said the team was Team Neko, and that the team Neko was short for Neko Deska, which means basically I'm a cat, don't you know? And so I thought it was Team Cat, but then she explained that it was a Korean term. But anyways, in actual practice, so there were a lot of mistakes in their practice, and you can tell that Kaylee was losing a lot of confidence. Misha was struggling a lot. And, you know, the interesting thought I had when I watched them in the practice behind the scenes stuff is that I believe this was an audition song. Like, this was one of the first songs that they could have performed for the judges in the beginning of this show. And so, with that respect, they should have memorized most of it if they actually did perform that song. I don't know how many did, but it was on the list, so they had an opportunity beforehand. But it seems like they were really, really struggling with it. But, you know, everyone got together in the same amount of time from all three teams. And so Team B, the main thing about them is I said they were vocally lagging in terms of just the stone distribution. But it seems like they were lacking in other ways as well. Savannah, she basically stepped up as the leader and said that, you know, they all have strengths and weaknesses and they're helping each other, and she in particularly helped Kaylee a lot. Now, when it got to about 1 day from the final performance, 24 hours, they started doing vocal training. And as you guys remember, the thing about Kendall is that she couldn't distinguish between her full voice and falsetto. And so you could tell that there wasn't really, they didn't have enough time to help her. And even JYP would say this later, just didn't have time to help her figure out the difference. Like, it's a lot of people are gonna wonder, oh, is it just that she can't hit it, or is that she can't even tell what it is? Like, she doesn't even know. And so she was really frustrated, and there was a lot of practice behind the scenes. What you find out later on, when JYP is asking them about how she advanced, is that Kaylee actually gave her some kind of exercise, which did help her to figure out the difference and just know how it sounds like in her throat. And so once you kind of get that feeling, then you know what your target is and what you're trying to reach and what you're trying to avoid after that. So anyways, we get to the performance. And so Team B's performance here. For me, in looking at this, I noticed that Savannah and Kaylee were doing pretty well. Now Misha, she was stiff at times, and it was like in just like her movements. And Kendall could also improve a bit. But it kind of felt at times like the performance was a little restrained. Like, you imagine like you're moving through water. Like, you've ever tried to kick or throw a punch through water? There's all this resistance, right? But in this case, the resistance is just from your own lack of confidence or just like lack of familiarity with the movement. And so I think that they will probably benefit from later training when they learn to really like just open up their bodies and just like give their all rather than micromanage with every like millimeter of movement, which I think is mainly Misha's issue at this point. Kendall, she does sing in full voice at some point, and this is apparent. And you know, there's a little crack at the end of her line delivery, but she still did it. She figured out the full voice, and I was surprised when I heard it. And you know, it was okay. Overall, I would say this group was really just kind of cautious and scared, but it did open up a lot more as things went on. I think they got comfortable performing. Sometimes people get more nervous when they're performing, and they start to like kind of lose their timing and stuff. But they seem to do okay. It seems like they got way more comfortable, and I don't know if that's like looking at people's expressions and saying, "Hey, it's mostly good. Like, nothing to be afraid of anymore," or just kind of giving their all, getting into the music. Maybe that's what's happening. But anyways, overall, it was okay. Now, according to Nick Kun in the judging, he said that he was impressed. They were not close to perfect, and so he that's kind of just saying they were good in his eyes based on the stipulations that they're learning this in a short amount of time. He expressed those kind of like uh, conditions. Now JYP, he was basically saying that the synchronization was not good, and they were all in like different timings when the most important thing was for them was to be, you know, like moving as one. He did praise Kendall for doing the full voice, uh, and he also noticed dance improvement for Kendall as well. Now, Kaylee, he said that she had a stable vocal. For Misha, he said that her dance was still not fluent enough, but her vocals were good. And that actually ended up earning her a vocal stone, actually. And Savannah, he was saying that she tapped into the feeling of how to express in dance, and that she sung better than he expected because he had to step in one time to get her to even realize that she could sing with a much like uh, higher voice, and so that she ended up getting a vocal stone here as well. And so the team that we were worried about in terms of being vocally crippled, and we're kind of banking on their star quality, it turns out they all got vocal stones in the end, and that was that performance. And so it wasn't the best out of all three, and it was the worst out of all three. But that's not saying too much in terms of like the distance between them. Although, I mean, one person's gonna be last, one person's gonna be first, and there's only three groups, so that's how it works. There's a front, middle, and back. But after their performance, JYP basically went to his judges behind the scenes, and it's funny here. Nick couldn't hear. He looks so awkward, kind of out of place. Like they should have let him join the show from the beginning, like even in a smaller capacity, just so he could be invested enough to like know what was going on. Because it was just kind of like he knew the camera was on him, and it was just kind of he couldn't say anything that contradicts JYP. I mean, he probably could have, but maybe he's not comfortable doing that. Anyways, it was just kind of like it's just this awkward energy from him. I would say it's more awkward than the Jeff energy from the other episodes for the other stone. But anyways, he comes back out and he announces the top four in terms of ranking. And so we'll just go through these quickly. He basically gives Camilla first place, Gina second, Christina third, and Savannah gets fourth. And so these are just the people who they got the stones just through the hard work that they put into the show. Uh, and so those are personally earned stones. They may have gained them uh, out of the like not in the original evaluations that they would have received all of them, but they got these without the final deliberation that just happened in the back room. And then he announced more people who would be getting the final stones and going to Korea. And these are not really. I would say that when he announced these, they weren't really the stones that he's giving them because they achieved that goal. Like in fifth place is Kendall, and she ended up getting the C stone, the character stone. Now, did she actually earn that character stone? I'm not sure if she did, but she got it to go to Korea. And then in sixth is Lexi. She got the vocal stone, and that completes her pendant. And then seventh is Kaylee, and she got the C stone. Now, a lot of people in chat were surprised by Kaylee because everyone keeps saying Kaylee is too young. But I don't know. Like, I agree she is kind of young, but people are saying that the show they're way older than when they first auditioned or something, and by the time they debut, they're gonna be even older than that. And so, I would say, since the show set the minimum age, you can't really go around saying she's too young. It's not like she's breaking rules. The rules are set. And then you have KG, who got the 8th stone, and KG seemed really she wasn't sure she was gonna get this stone, and Chat was kind of like mixed. Chat is still mixed on her for reasons that I don't even like really respect. That I don't really respect that argument. I think that KG earned it. She should have been like getting the stone anyways. So she got her C stone. Melissa is in 9th, and she's got the D stone, which is the dance stone that she's missing. Chat was also actually controversial about Melissa. A lot of people seem to be under the impression that she wasn't going, and I guess it was like it has to do with leaks or something. And so people are saying that for some technical reason she can't go to Korea, and so this is kind of just she got the stone, but she can't go for some reason. And then 10th was between Misha and Yuna, and JYP announced only one of them was going to get it. He ended up giving it to Yuna, and she got the dance stone, which she didn't have before, despite apparently being pretty good at dance, but just being off timing. And then finally, Misha was the one who was eliminated. Now, it's kind of upsetting. You could tell a lot of chat was actually heartbroken because really it just seems like one person was singled out and not able to go. So when you think about it, Misha's issue, if you go back to my audition feedback, I think I already said it back there, and it's a problem she never overcame from the audition to here, which is that there is some kind of mental barrier between her and being like really authentically and gritty real, right? She's you can tell when she's doing movements, it's kind of like very not loose, very not in it. She's good. She could do good singing. She could do good movements in her dance, but she's not ready yet for K-pop, and it's because it's just something. There's a barrier, a mental thing, and he wasn't sure if she could get over it. And this is not something you can kind of like teach people. Like, when you're feeling the music, like really feeling it, like you're not sure you can teach people to get over that. Now I would have been way more generous and let her go to Korea and get kicked out later, just because you never know what happens. You spend time with people, and these people give you feedback, including your own teammates and your trainers, and you could eventually feel it out. I feel like there wasn't a lot of attempts to help her really understand that, and it's the same thing with Kendall. Like there wasn't really a lot of time and effort put into helping her understand the difference between a full voice and a falsetto. And it was actually Kaylee who gave her an exercise that would basically eliminate her ability to breathe, so that she could like belt out a voice that was not like over. I'm not letting too much air through to do the falsetto. Singing out of her range, basically. It prevented her from doing it. And she heard it, and then she's like, oh, I know what it is now. And basically the only problem she had was that she didn't even know what it was that people were having a problem with. But anyways, or she was just so used to singing a certain way, she didn't even know that she could feel something else. It's the same thing as like some people can't move their ears. And when I was a kid, I discovered the secret to moving your ears is that you put on a pair of sunglasses like this, and then you start flexing some muscles until you can feel the glasses moving. When your glasses are moving, that means your ears are kind of like being pulled back by the muscles on the side of your head. So that's like a good way to kind of like just to feel those muscles that move the glasses. So that's a good way to know how to move your ears. But I don't know, people probably still struggle with it. I don't know. You can figure it out on your own, I guess. But anyways, yeah, Misha's issue is just something that came that we knew about for a long time, and she still hadn't overcome it. And maybe there was not a lot of coaching or advice that brought it up in a meaningful way that she would even be able to grasp. And maybe her age plays a part in it. And then after that, we kind of get some Korea preview. Now, the thing about Korea is that this is like pretty much like it's the real boot camp. Like this wasn't really that difficult yet. When you get to Korea, now you're in like the full system, the training system. It's the real boot camp. And something funny you'll notice is that the cameras and the lighting is way brighter. And the reasoning behind that is that a lot of Asian people their skin is not that white, but they have to make it really white for aesthetics, for visuals, and so a lot of lighting is going to be way more blown out, kind of like way more cloudy sometimes as well. And so that's what's happening here in Korea. You can tell that it's a different production crew involved. It's and they have more like certain what do you call it, conventions that they have to like uh, stick to. But anyways, that's pretty much it. So we look at the final A2K roster, and unfortunately, Misha is no longer with us. Uh, then you have these 10 girls, all got their upgrades, all got the full pendants, and now we're gonna get even newer pendants, because these pendants they transform, right? They combine into something bigger. So there's gonna be some combiner piece that they're gonna get, and they'll probably have to get 4 more stones. And I don't really know the nature of those stones, but then it turns their necklace into something out of, I don't know, Bram Stoker's Dracula. And uh, they're gonna have to bring it, because now they can really get eliminated and have no more chances. And the training, hopefully the training leads to something good, even if they do get eliminated. But yeah, so far I like these girls, and they're nice. Someone said I should watch another show called what is it? Was it Dream Academy or something, or something like that? There's a hype show called I'm not sure if I think it's Dream Academy. I might be mistaken, but I took a brief look at the roster, and there's like 20 girls, and it might not be my style of show. It might not be my thing. And also, I have an issue with Hybe. One time, I covered an article on the Seraphim or something, and I was neutral on the article. By the way, I was totally neutral. I was just reading it because it just came across my feed, and I thought it was interesting. And I had a history of like uh, discussing an issue regarding people getting canceled for bullying in the past or something. And so I wanted to give my 2 cents on this article. And then I noticed that ever since then, someone went through my whole backlog, and I got all my 17 videos removed. All my New Jeans videos are blocked. Like I keep getting like everything that's Hybe related is blocked. And so I know that it's intentional, because I'll look at other people and they'll have the same video still up. And so I know that and sometimes I'll put up a 17 video, and it'll take like a few hours, and then it'll get taken down like after. So there's not really like an automatic blocking system. It's just someone goes in and removes it later. And so it may not be a good idea for me to cover that Hybe show. But it seems interesting, but I'm not sure if it's my speed. Just because it doesn't really feel the same as this kind of show, which I've come to really like, by the way. Compared to like an Mnet show, which is like really evil, I feel like this was really relaxing for me. And also, I got a lot of work to do. So anyways, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to cover that. But I might be able to catch an episode, and I could always do like a feedback kind of stripped down, just talking video on it. But I'm not going to do this thing where I put up clips from the show, and then I'm not even sure how to talk about a show I can't put up clips for. But anyways, I guess that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comment box down below. Also, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.